Hi there guys, hope you're all doing wonderfully well. My name's Emily, also known as the Northern Princess. Today we're here at Brighton on the London Commuter route by Dovetail Games. Today we're going to be doing a route learning video from here at Brighton on one Mike 297 on a Brighton to London Victoria service, calling at Brighton, Hassocks, Burgess Hill, Gatwick Airport and London Victoria. Alrighty, it's about a 50-mile journey all in all. And one half of it's just a fast run. So we'll get the cab door closed. Check my TCOCs are there. In the seat, so I have prepared the cab just to allow me to get certain things operational that I needed. So what I'll do is I'm going to pop the doors open, let our passengers board, and I'm going to set my headlights today running, tail lamps to off, so that way you can see our headlights are set correctly. This is, of course, the Class 387-2. Interestingly, AP recently released an enhancement pack for the Class 377 to make it a 387. We're not going to talk about the controversy there. Safe to say, DTG's is substantively better. I'm going to open my can of Monster to get us ready to rock and roll. We're due off here at 14 minutes past. So we're 5 seconds late already. Outstanding. Let's close the doors. With that blue interlock light. Reverser goes forward. And away we go. There we go. So our start speed limit today is 20 miles an hour, 20 miles per hour. And our first stop, as I said, is Hassocks in 6.6 miles. Hey, that worked. It's the first time I've done it based purely off timings, so that's why I'm just checking that. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how to hide all the stuff down the side, so that just has to be up like that. There we go. Now, as soon as we pass this, we'll clear up to 25 miles now. There we go. And power off. We went over a gap there, hence the noise changed. You see the line light goes out when you go over gaps. Basically, it's just saying, I don't have any juice. Ah, there you go. It's done it again. See, flick it off, then back on. Right, you've got the 40 limit here. So once the tail end of the train passes this, we're cleared up to 40. We're on an 8-car train today, by the way. And 40 miles an hour time. So I've got a couple of videos to make. I'm going to be making this video as sort of my first vlog, first thoughts. And it's going to be a little bit of a review because I've driven it twice now. And my second video will be a run to Reigate, just because I've been threatening to do that for ages. I may even make a third because I've noticed one of the you know, I'll say when I think DTG's done a bad job. You know, I used to develop for Train Sim World when I worked for Dovetail. I respect the crap out of the job they do, but I also sort of see my role, I guess, at the moment in developing Train Sim World as being someone who'll turn around and say, you know, effectively keep them honest, right? So turn around and say, actually, no, that's rubbish. You know, this was being talked about or fixed when I worked with you. You know, compared to, yeah, basically. You know, so just keeping them honest is what I'm trying to suggest there. So we're rolling through Preston Park, cleared up to 75. That's something I don't like, is that the passengers now walk well behind the yellow line. And now that I've done, again, railway training, I'm sort of the person who goes, yellow line! Get back! Get away! Yeah, even though I know it's a game and I know they're not going to, you know, get swept under or anything like that, because that's not simulated, of course. It's just, yeah, the way I feel about it. So, power's on. Accelerating through 60. Yeah. So, what else can I talk about? Well, I can talk about what's happened in my real life. Prepare your buttholes for this one. So, I've talked about this a little bit, and it's going to be coming out in a video in the not too distant future. I was really lucky. I applied to work on the railways on a whim, and thought, I put a CV in, maybe I'll get an interview. It's good practice, right? Not thinking I'd get the job. Well, 5 weeks ago now, I started working for a train operating company whose name I'm not going to disclose. Actually, I might as well, because it's going to come out in the not too distant future when I start doing a little review of the train. It's a company called Lumo. They run, so it's the London Stevenage for pickup only, or pickup northbound, drop off southbound, and let me just check my little notes. Sorry, whilst I'm driving here. Coming off this right curve, we go up to 90. Anyway, so as I was saying, I've been working for Lumo, and I've been training to be a customer experience ambassador. So basically on train crew, not driving, but sort of customer service on the train. Bit of a disclosure on how unlucky I am. So I start the job, everything's amazing. I really love working for the company. It seems like a great place. Get my PTS done, which has already changed how I do train sim. I'm not sure if the video I don't think that's come out yet, but I did on my first days in training, I recorded the Oakville F40PH video, and at the end of the video, I dismount the cab and cross over the line in front of the train. I make sure there's a safe distance between me and the train. I look up into the cab to see that no one's going to try and move the train, and then I peek around the train to see if there's another train coming. Don't think I've ever done that before. This is how ridiculous I am. So yeah. That was my PTS. But anyway, at the end of the second week, my dad died. He'd been in bad health for a while, was suffering with liver issues amongst others. But I basically got the call of your dad's died. That was a fun day at work. Not. So, dealing with that, obviously I had a couple of days off just because of, it does affect you when that, oh, there we go, power off. It does affect you when something like that happens. Let me just look down my notes again. Right, that's fine. So, yeah. Okay, and there we go. Step 2. So, I was dealing with that. I've had a couple of days off because, those of you who know, I'm half Czech. Basically, my mum and sister live over there. I'm the only sort of immediate family, the only family full stop living within a 150-mile radius. So I've been dealing with everything, which was far from fun, if I'm honest. Registering deaths, all that kind of stuff. And, yeah. Just, my dad was 58, I'm 24. A, he died at no age, and B, at the age of 24, I'm just not equipped to deal with that kind of stuff. There you go, here's the station. I'll get rid of that marker as soon as we stopped on it. But, yeah. That was sort of a challenge, I guess. And then, basically, I had a thing today, on Tuesday night. I live in a shared house, not through choice, through necessity, and someone on the top floor got COVID. Now, Lumo's a really small company, and I thought, I can't go to work in good conscience, I know the odds of me having it are slim because of X, Y, and Z mitigation I put in place. Let's pop those doors open. X, Y, and Z I've done to mitigate this issue. But, in good conscience, if I start infecting people with COVID in the office, we aren't running trains on the 25th of October, put it that way. Um, yeah. Um, so I've basically I was really, the training was part of what was getting me through this, really. Let me just check my time. We've got, I'm going to leave those markers on.
Personal safety and security.
Doors are closed. The bill lights are extinguished. We've got the interlock light, and away we go. So basically, what happened was I had a call with my manager at lunchtime, and he basically said, "Look, you were behind already. We could caught that up, but not with 10 days." So they've actually been really good, and said, you're going to self-isolate. We'll see you in a week, and we'll get you on some ad hoc duties, when you're back, which is going to be just means I get to explore a different side of the company, which is going to be really cool. And I get put in with the next training group, which it's a real shame because, like I said, a large part of what I was doing was sort of, building myself up here to go, actually, I'm going to do this. I'm on a train on the 25th, stuff everything else. My dad would have been proud of my achievement of that. He would have wanted me to be at work kind of thing. And that's obviously not happening, which is, as I say, it's a crying shame. But I can understand it, but that's it. They've been really good. They've said they're going to pay me for the. They're not going to basically say we're going to stop paying you effective yesterday. See you on the 25th. We'll start paying again from then. They're paying me throughout, which I'm being paid a reasonable amount of money to sit on my backside and play computer games, effectively. So of course I'm going to get through some of my miscellaneous stuff. Actually, I'm going to get rid of that marker because that's really cheaty. I can see it from here. And it's this bridge here we take a step 2 brake application from. But I do really, and I say I'm going to do. There's going to be a video coming out near at a launch. Basically, there's of course there's photographs of the train out there now, but I don't feel it would be right for me to go making a video of, ooh, look at this train, before everyone else, so there's going to be a VIP train running, and hopefully, whenever their medium embargo is lifted, I'll, that's when I'll post my video. So yeah, of course I'm getting to record for everyone else, but that doesn't really make a difference because I can't release any sooner. And I'm not Jeff Marshall, so I'll get about 3 views. Yeah, but as I said, just, it's a. I have to say, even now though, I hope you guys at home can see that that's actually a real credit to the company, because it would be very easy for them to just say, right, get lost, we'll see you on the 25th. You can't work for us. We'll put you on unpaid leave, kind of thing. I've only got 2 days of holiday accrued. Even though I'm not sure that's how that works. But anyway. There we go. Stationary. Pop those doors open. And welcome to Burgess Hill. Oh, I was going to say, am I about to see a passenger launch to space there? Ooh. Passengers to space. We are due off here in 20 seconds. Right, I'm going to really quickly show you how to get rid of that marker on the ground. Settings. There you go, object marker off. And I can get rid of you. So yeah, it's Gatters and then up to Victoria. Get rid of the hood. 10 seconds to go. I'm going to close the... Actually, yep, I can close the doors now. Interlock light is achieved. Everyone's standing well clear. Notch 3. Away we go. Next stop, Gatwick Airport. But yeah, so yeah, as I say, I'm going to focus on making videos. I'm hopefully going to be streaming quite a bit this week. Well, it's Thursday today, so yeah, I can stream Monday through Friday. I could do that, like a all day, like a 2 till 6 stream, kind of, or 2 till 8 stream every day. That wouldn't be too bad. And then, yeah, I just I'm really sad that that's what's happened, but at the same time, it's also really good because, like I say, they've handled it really well, and there's other stuff that's happened that they've just been really good to me, and I sort of even on the call said, look, this is give and take. I'm taking a lot. If you can think of anything you want me to do this week, just give me a call and I'll do it. As long as I don't have to leave the house, I'll do it. I've turned my work tablet off because I don't need that, but I'm keeping the phone on just in case I get a call of, hey Emily, can you do this? Idiot. Idiot 2.0. So as we're building speed, we'll do a quick capture of the class 378. So, I'm actually going to get up to 8, we've got a little while. So this is standard lecturer style stuff really. Up top you've got your marker heads, aux on off, this part the mobilisation process for the train, pan up, pan down, basically DC system changeover, which unfortunately there's no way in Train Sim World for us to play with that just yet. AC control, I'm going to set it to medium because I'm getting quite cold. TMS, pretty standard stuff there. We're up at 90. Is our speed today, got the signal. That's interesting. I wonder if that's obviously, I wonder, that's the chime then. I wonder if there's that it actually hits a mechanical bell, or how that works. Because obviously if I can go, it sort of sounds like I'm hitting a bell repeatedly, like kind of dealio. Sorry, I panicked a little there. Up to 90 as we said. Alright. Obviously TMS, notice board light, master key, 4-step reverser, off, forward, neutral, reverse. 4 steps of power, well, technically 4 braking, but 3 that we use in service. Again, cab light controls, depot whistle. Barely audible on the back there. MCB, line light, couple, button, hill start. Again, there's no hills big enough for us to retest that on. There's 90, so I'm going to just say about notch 1 of power. This is Haywards Heath we're passing through now. Hill start controls as mentioned, DRA. This is the Tpbs control panel. This is basically the main difference, is that this little square here is laid out differently to the 377. You'll see that on my 377 video. Coming soon TM. Brake indications. I'm not sure what manual suppression DAS does. The button clicks, but I don't think it's actually connected to anything. Obviously, your warning for safety system isolation. AWS reset button. Door controls left and right. Door interlocks left and right. Hazard lights. Do that. That basically is train in distress. But also, if a train coming the other way sees those, it goes into emergency braking because I might have seen children playing on the line. And, if I'm going around a bend and I'm coming out that bend and I see a train coming the other way, it's quicker for me to hit the hazard lights than it is to hit the emergency call button on the GSMR, is the logic. Because, I've got to hit that, and then go, this is an emergency call, driver 1, mic 27, children playing in the line, by then, jam on the line, right? Whereas if I hit that, that's an immediate signal to the train ahead, slap the emergency brakes on. Yeah. Again, that's stuff I learned from work, how to make an emergency call. What else? You got the DOO screens that don't work. Obviously the increased maximum speed, which is nice. This interior is a bit garish. I'm not sure if this is the correct seat colour, but I'm not going to question it because I don't know any better myself. The Ooze Viaduct. I've not even got my phone on my desk for me to go and Google it. But that's just something I've noticed whilst I was sitting talking here. Obviously windscreen wiper controls, headlight, type horn. GSMR, that doesn't, that's interesting, that's a button that's not simulated. Obviously an emergency call button, I'm not going to press it. call the nearest signaller, non-emergency. Now, this won't necessarily call the signal you want to speak to. So, for example, say I am held on the way into Gatwick, and I want, or on the way into Clapham Junction from Victoria. I press that, it might connect me to the Victoria signal box rather than Clapham signal box. I'm not sure if signal boxes in the London area. This is just my pretend example, basically. There we go, inner coast. So that's basically the thing to be aware of with that. Same with the emergency call does a 11-mile bubble, 5.5 miles in front, 5.5 miles behind. You press that in central London, you're causing carnage in terms of disruption because it stops everything. Arguably, everything's the same level of late. So, but you're causing carnage in terms of disruption if you press that by accident. So registration button. You also press and hold that, and it brings up a little phone book. And there are some yeah, I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk about that part actually. Yeah, I'm not gonna. To be honest, there's no harm in me doing it, but at the same time, I feel like it's one of those things. So we exit this tunnel at 80 miles an hour, so I'm just going to go into step 2 brake again. Stream that speed to 80. Idle power. And we're approaching Gatwick Airport now. We'll be going through 3 bridges in the not too distant future. I do believe 80 miles an hour post. There we go. But yeah, so that, by the way, when I say it stops them, the driver has to stop. It doesn't actually stop the train. GSMR is incapable of that. There's our 90 post, so I'm just going to go power back into full. Also, something I've heard, that if GSMR is obviously set up properly before the drive, or the journey, then what will happen is the signaller can make a PA in the train. So, for example, in a DOO situation, say the driver's had a heart attack, the signaller can make an announcement of what's going on, basically. Which is kind of cool. Kind of cool. Okay, and we're going to adverse signal, so I'm going to knock it straight into coast. Again, this is 3 Selhurst Depot. Interesting, there's still a place on the railway computer system called 3 Bridges Voyager, even though Voyagers haven't come here for like 10 years. So we are catching up a train in front of us, so I'm just gonna, I say, pull that speed off and just, I'm going to assume he's stopping at Gatwick. So, well, I know he's stopping at Gatwick, but still, it's just better to be safe. And you can see the hill we're rolling down is just steep enough to keep us at this speed. Actually, I've got a few minutes to hold at Gatwick, so I can show you the interior of the train. Yeah, I can see at another amber ahead, so 65. Doesn't this train look nice? I say the exterior visuals on this are great as usual. I'm gonna wait. Did it just... Sorry. I was starting... That's cool! That's supremely cool. That's the first time I've seen, you know... Obviously, it's, you know, it's very simple for it just to go... what it's doing, it's... Obviously, you can see it says this train calls at Gatwick and London Victoria. If once we leave Gatwick, it says this train calls at London Victoria, or it disappears off entirely, then I'll be really pleased, because that means that's properly coded in. In Train Sim World, it's not that complicated to make it automatic. Because basically, if you imagine a massive flowchart with, well, this route's got 1,400 services, so 1,400 flows on it. Crap. Step 3, going against red. I should have realised that myself. We'll be fine. But yeah, anyway, so what was I saying? Basically, if you imagine a massive flowchart, obviously with 1,400 different flows on it, well, what this is doing is this is saying this, you know, train in this location, which it's not necessarily even saying to me this number train, because if I reload this mission, then it'll have a different train number on the front, which is really cool. There we go. Bring ourselves to a stand. Right. But basically, you know, so it can just look at that and go, right, this part of the flow has bum stops, and then it knows when that's been completed. You know, the Train Sim World editing tools are supremely powerful compared to Train Simulator Classic. Yeah, supremely. I just wish DTG would release them, frankly. So, but anyway, as we're on our way into Gatwick Airport, you've got Gatwick Airport over there. I just see Lufthansa Telfin. No. Wait, what's the name of the airline? I want to try and have a look at it. That's an idle name. Yep. Oh, just airlines. That's a shame. I was really hopeful it'd be Scott Airlines, like it'd be one of the assets of Glasgow Airport Rail Link. Alright, so welcome to Gatwick. You can see we're arriving into Dual Amber. Let me just stop at the end here. I'll just draw up to the tank arm. There we go. What time we drive here? 44. Still got like 2.5 minutes. So I'll give you a quick little look in the... Excuse you. It doesn't feel right, and I can't put my finger on why it doesn't feel right, but it just doesn't. Let's get out of first in this and just have a look down the back. That might even be my head then, because this looks right, but oh, I don't know. Oh, just something doesn't feel right about that. Wait, does it say stops at London Victoria and London Victoria?
Always try to carry
That's a bug, boys. That's a bug.
If you feel faint, keep health at the next station. Do not use the emergency cord, as this may delay help reaching you.
Oh, it's if you feel faint. Interesting. Not necessarily accurate, you know, but yeah, no. Yeah, no. A minute and a half to go. Nothing really else to show off in this train at this point. Obviously, you got this. You had to enable all the safety systems on this side, which is why I turned my cab on, just so I could easily do that. You also got the. Ooh, that's a new feature. This perspective on matters. 40. We've got a minute. Right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use my Steam browser to have a look on Google. Let's say cab. I could be wrong. Not a 37 yet. And then you can see it's got the blue trim there. Okay, I'm wrong. Take backsies on that. And 30 seconds to go. Let me just check. Yep, I can close my doors. All buttoned up. We've got the lock light confirm and 10 seconds to go. So it's holding in step 1 brake. And away we go. Oh, on time, every time. Should have me as a train dispatcher. There we go. Right, away we go. So, start speed's 90 miles an hour again. Obviously, we departed against a green aspect. I didn't set the DR rate. Oopsie. But, yeah. We departed against a green, I know that much. Oh, we go. Yeah, we got KO'd there by the gap. Line volts back. I'm going to give it a quick check up here. Everything's in isolated. They must have, for some reason, they've not submitted DSD in this train. One little bug I've noticed in the TMS, by the way. 3774214. So, for some reason, inside the game somewhere, it thinks it's the 3774 number 214, when actually it's 387223. Now, I might be wrong there, but it feels like a big coincidence for the 3774 to be the previous train DLC correction, and for that now to, you know, be the same number in this. It just feels like a coinky-dink. A bit too much for a coinky-dink, I should say. So, no. So, when I isolated and re-isolated it, the DSD now works. Interesting. You see coming towards us a Networker Turbo. Super cool. Meow. That is doing a Reading to Gatwick Airport run, which is really good. I'm really pleased that they've implemented that. Yeah, like, I'm doing my little excited bounce because of how happy I am. No, I'm doing daily COVID tests. I've got a cough, but I don't have COVID. Not that I'm drinking so much. But yeah, that's probably going to be what I do for one of the route learners. In fact, I might do that Reigate to Gatwick. And then I'll cover the entire route, technically. We'll see. Yeah, I think I turned it off and back on again. Now it works. Or whatever I turned off, turned it on. So, we're going to be going off down the quarry line, or quarry lines, I should say. in a moment, where the speed limit drops down to 80 for that. One little point of disappointment I did actually have with this route again was the lack of change. What do I mean by that? Obviously, some of the stations are a bit different, but south of Gatwick, apart from Three Bridges, Thameslink Depot, I don't feel like anything's really massively changed. Like, if you compare even the East Coast Main Line between, Train Simulator 2014 when it came out, so 7-ish years ago. 8 years ago when it came out. Wow. That's how I've been playing Train Sim. That was a new route when I got it. When that first came out, holy flaholy. That's not how I remember that 80 limit. Oh well. But yeah, so anyway, if you compare it to what it's like now, there's a lot of changes in terms of stations, in terms of speed limits. All that's been massively upgraded. Whereas this route, I can't think of any change in it, Power back in, up to 90 we go. Right, let's check where I am. Right, I'm not that far for up to go now. Yeah, so I'm just trying to think of something to talk about. Sorry, I've talked about that much in the first half of this video. I'm running out of ideas. Luckily, we'll be in thinking in about 20 minutes in Victoria. Not even that. So we're due there at 15:15, but I've been getting it like pre-10 past. So yeah, a little under 20 minutes. You can see we're going up a hill because I'm in full power in it. And we are inching up on speed. Yeah, so flying through another tunnel. What can I talk about? Nothing really. I threw up the other day. I think that was stress induced more than anything really. And I bought a nice hat today. Well, I bought it on Monday, but it got delivered today. That's about it. Yeah. It just really sucks what happened with, work and stuff, because I was really enjoying it, and I've not really had a job yet, or for a long time, where I was, dare I say it, competent. Before sort of 3 months in, a lot of the technical stuff with the train, because we were doing training on board. There's not a massive amount of technical stuff we have to know as ambassadors, but there's still a little bit. And I was sort of running away with that, I was, yeah. I mean, the urn in the galley is going to be the death of me. But apart from that, I'm doing good. Because I'm a professional. But it's actually, one thing I've got to say about working at Lumo, that's been supremely cool. Is sort of, I'm willing to say, the caliber of people. So I've sort of a lot of the time I've worked sort of fairly minimum wage jobs where not having any money in your bank account by the end of the month is sort of the norm, really. Whereas, there's a lot of teachers there, a lot of fairly sort of senior, experienced people, shall we say. It's very few sort of entry level people. And yeah, it's a very different place of work to what I'm used to, and that's actually had a really good impact on me personally, and the effort I put in everything around me. So yeah. I'm gonna chop the power off. Right, 60 before that. Right, cool. Yeah, the plan is, as I say, for me to do a couple of videos. I'm going to be doing one with the the ATS 185 ASAP, really, because that's a pretty special train. Even Ash Clark, who has an unbridled hatred for anything to do with that organisation, cannot. I've not heard him say anything nice about anything. Actually, I've not heard him compliment any releases in Train Sim ever. That kind of chap. You know, I said, look, credit where it's due. That they did good. Just give you a quick demonstration where we are. Pushing Pearly Oaks. So 3.5 miles out of South Croydon, where the speed limit really drops down to like 30 going through South Croydon, and then it picks back up again. But yeah, you can see quite nicely I've just held that speed, haven't I? Looking at the trend, it's quite nice. I like a good graph, put it that way. And yeah. I mean, you can see, yeah, as I say, it's a shame we can't scroll this. I'm sure you are on the live map. There. So we started off down here in Brighton. Burgess Hill's about there. Hassocks is about there. Gatwick Airport is about there. And then, it's a 50-mile journey. And I think, including the stops, it's under an hour to do it, which is kind of cool. This is Pearly Oaks. There's my Morpeth board for the 60, so I'm going to just put step 2 in, because this one caught me out a couple of times on the practice run. So I feel like after passing here, I'm going to have to start talking a little about my thoughts on this route. Is this a good route? Hell yes. I paid $34.99 for the season ticket. I got 3 really good routes. I was worried that since London Commuter was the last route, it would be rushed and horrible. Don't get me wrong, it's not perfect. I mean, to be honest, for all intents and purposes, it's not bad. But, one of those things, isn't it? Just, a couple of little bits and bobs, which, to be honest, is what we normally get out of DTG, so I'm not too bothered. Honestly, as far as Train Sim World 2 goes, stuff like that's a bit embarrassing, if I'm honest. Like, having trees clipping at the track on a really prominent run is a bit embarrassing. But apart from that, honestly, and the suicidal passengers, but that's a rush hour feature more than a route feature. This route's pretty good. I really like it. It's I'm coasting in at 55. There's my signal. I'm going to be dropping down to 45, and then 30 entering the platform. Okay, and I'm going to go 30 now. good that Idle has a different click to it. Coasting in, East Croydon. But I say, it's surprising the lack of change on this route compared to Train Sim. Well, I don't even think it was a Train Sim, it was a Railworks route, I think, originally. Okay, so the building on the side, that's different. But the actual track, like speeds, layout, that kind of stuff is what I was expecting to see changed. And it hasn't, which is a little surprising, if I'm honest. 45. 45. Da, 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 da. Sorry, I don't know why I went in the Mission Impossible theme tune there. Some say I've had too much caffeine tonight. Others say I've not had enough. Right, power on, up to 45. Now 60. I'm just going to blip the power off then. Let this signal go up to 60 and then we hang out at 60 for a while. Going over the Selhurst over at Selhurst, as I like to call it, because it just goes everywhere. It's the railway equivalent of Spaghetti Junction. Notch 1. Nope, that's getting us a bit quick. Of course, my notes are outstandingly horrible for this section. Good job I have a vague understanding of it. Oh no, I do now. I get confused on these ones, so yeah, it's Thornton Heath, Streatham, yeah. We can let the speed obviously drift up now to 70. But then it drops down quite unexpectedly, and it's on a curve, so it's a very difficult speed board to spot. It's one of the sort of tricky bits of this route. Finicky, as I would like to say usually. You know, especially if I'm a bit tired like I am now, it's very easy to miss. Now, 10 mile an hour speed, I guess, you know, you're going to get talked to about it, but it's not quite a breathalyzer job. Yeah, that's the other thing about safety on the railway. That's a cool thing, actually. If you do a bad speed, I think if you take it 13 miles an hour over, an 800 series, will DOS you in to Hitachi. Well, on-train monitoring would pick it up and flag it to your manager anyway, but it'll ring itself in up to Hitachi, and basically someone from Hitachi will be down to check the train and make sure you've not hurt your train, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I panicked 60. Oh well. I didn't even get down to 60. How embarrassing. I'm trying to stay at 60. We're running well early. I mean, it's 9 o'clock and we're not due for another 13 minutes and 6 miles, you know. I'm not sure why it holds you up that long. I'd assume that when it's been calculated in the timetable, it's driven slower, and there'll be a short, you know, a margin somewhere for that if you're more than say a minute or two late, you get stuck behind a stopper. Whereas on this, we're running it fast, so I think because I drive quite aggressively, you know, we're doing better basically. That's the only thing I can think of why I'm that early. Because I've not sped. I'll show you the diagram when we stop. You know, a bit mile or two an hour here, there. But yeah. I'm going to go a blast on the horn at foot crossings, and that's what that looked like to me. And because I was paying tons of attention, my notes are 45 mm thingy. I mean, we can see we're on 70 mile an hour running still, but I'm just going to stay at 60. It doesn't, in the grand scheme of things, 10 miles an hour doesn't make a massive difference in terms of your time. Especially, well, when you're at this speed, it doesn't. It's... So at the moment, we do a mile a minute, at this point. But, yeah, it's basically... What? So if I split that into two, it's 35 minutes and 30 miles. So 35 miles and 30 minutes. So really, if I did this over half an hour, I'd lose 5 minutes of time. We're doing it for about 10 minutes, so we'll lose about 2 minutes of time, which is absolutely fine. And we're substantially early, so yeah. And I know the passengers are like, "Get me there! I'd love to be there early," but enjoy the road. Don't know where that came from at all. But anyway, as well, this isn't 70 miles over the entire journey. It's 70 miles for about 3 minutes. So there you go. There's your 60. See, that's quite hard to spot if you're not paying attention. It's 2 or 3 minutes, 10 miles an hour slow, which is, half a mile. So literally 30 seconds of time. Roughly. It's ballpark numbers. Yeah, there is going to be a lot of Southeast England stuff coming in the coming weeks. I'm preparing you for that now because that's a lot of the routes I haven't covered here. Stuff like the 455, stuff like Southeastern High Speed. I want to cover that with probably a rail tour run from Gravesend from Faversham to Gravesend. Probably my idea, but. Yeah, we'll have to see, basically. Idiots. See, that's my reaction now, because I've done the training on stuff. I mean, arguably, I'm doing 50 miles an hour. According to PTS, they were probably in a position of... They were in a theoretical position of safety. But, yeah. So I think... To be honest, for primarily my job, if I'm having to do PTS, something's gone horribly, horribly wrong. PTS, for those of you not in the know, is personal track safety. I'm going to show myself up with probably making a mistake there, but I believe it's 2.5 feet until in the region of 60 miles an hour. But even at like 100, it's 6 feet. But if you think 2 feet from like if you stood 2 feet from a moving bus. Like a bus doing 30 miles an hour and you stood 2 feet from it. You're scared that thing's going to take your face off. Imagine that with a train doing 50, 60 miles an hour. Clapham J coming up. I like that rattle in the cab. Hello Clapham. Don't know why I hit the horn. I want to have a look around. I want to have a... You see, I'd love... When Train Sim World gets things like Southwest... in it, Overground, Southeastern come through here as well, then that'll be really cool to see, and just stand at Clapham and do train spotting all day. That's the cool thing about Train Sim World now. We've got these major routes. You could sit and train spot like you would at IRL. Again, we're hitting some cautionary signals because I've got ahead of myself somehow, or got behind something. Whoops. You saw nothing? We'll not tell anyone. There we go. So we're going up the overpass. It's going to be my second... Again, because the way my scheduling system works, I didn't record the 465 video all that long ago. Well, actually I did, but just that much has happened. It doesn't... In a weird way, it doesn't feel like that long ago. Power. Yeah, I know what the limits are here. I think if I'm going to balls the score up, it's going to be in this last segment because my brain's going. There's Battersea Power Station. Out of interest, is the route connected up on this one? No, it's not. Because on the original London to Brighton it is, on South London it isn't, and on this it isn't. But on North London lines, because North London lines and Goblin lines actually takes in this section of the route as well. Okay, so being brought to a stand now. So on a red, stab. I don't want a traffic jam, it would appear. What I can do now that I'm at a stand, PIS, and just set to not in service. See, that's not how you do that, but I mean, I'm only familiar with Hitachi PISs, but still, there's a very different way of doing it. And there's only so many ways to skin a cat. So, a little bit of an unfortunate thing with this route that I'm going to give as feedback. Selhurst Depot. Not Selhurst. I always forget the name of this depot. The depot down there. You can see it from over here. You can fly around and look at it. But you can't actually get anywhere near it. And it's the Gatwick Express depot, so it's kind of sad that they've not included that. Is he moving it? So I can do a bit of just self-care, give myself a stretch, get the windows open. You can see you've got door control panels here, which will be cool. Again, you should have to key in to actually activate these doors, but yeah. I wonder, yeah, so when I did this journey earlier today to do my notes, I must have beat a queue, and now I'm sitting in that queue. He is 3774. Yeah, we are 3 trains down in a queue. 426. Interesting. And also, oh no, that's. I'm just checking this. Yeah, no. You shouldn't be blocked. I'm trying to find something to show you. That's probably what's held us up. 445. There is a limited number. Here it is, 3771. I know the headlights aren't right, but it's a nice bit of variety to not just have dash 4s whizzing about. And over on the Chatham side, there are some drivable 375s. No drivable 465s, but again, they're here, and that makes a big difference to me. Another 375. Wow. Oh, and I swear that's a Southeastern uniform, but I could be wrong. Wait, I'm taking a screenshot of that for a reason. He's not happy to be wherever he is, though. In the cab, yeah, we're still red. However, let's have a look at the map. Yeah, that front train's now starting to move, so we'll hopefully get the permission to move shortly. I should also have a SID notch too. And my master key's fallen out for some reason. How unfortunate. Pop both windows open over the Thames. So when we pull away, I think that looks like he's moving now. So yeah, we are going to arrive actually on time. Just because of the disruption. DRA off, reverser forward, power on. So we're going to accelerate to 20 miles an hour. And that's the speed we'll hold all the way in. That's the 377 that was holding us up. Scumbag! Lots of nice modern buildings in this area now, though. This does feel... That was there before, but this feels very different. Over the Temporary Rock. On a single amban. Power off. There's a 40 post. Well, I mean, just do that delay. You get to see Southeastern 375 on the rule. On the rule. Yeah, that's words on the move. Hopefully, as well, with rush hour out the way, we'll see stuff like the 313 coming out for Train Sim, or Train Sim World, correction. So I'm keeping 20. We could. I can let the speed actually roll up a little bit, but that's the 20 post there. So. There we go. I always love looking at these posters because there's usually Easter eggs for dev names in them and stuff. Oh, I couldn't read that one going past. And then we're just going to go onto that platform there, I believe. Welcome to Victoria. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Victoria with another on-time arrival. Actually, a minute late. Please don't forget to check around your seats for any items you may have missed. And please retain your tickets as the gate lines are in operation at London Victoria. Thanks once again for travelling with Gatwick Express today. We're getting pretty close, actually, to being able to do a East Coast Main Line South. All we need now is a 700. And then, you know, you could get all of those supporting on that route. And then a 91 or an 800. I'd love an 800 in this game. I'd probably rip it to shreds because I know them quite well now, but yeah. Arguably, though, I know 803s. I know a little bit on 802s. Okay, here we are. So, we'll reach the doors. I'm going to leave my cab energised, but I'll set my brakes to step 3. My tail lights to on. My headlights to off. And that's it for this cab. We've got the not in service up on the PIS. Yes, we do. I can pull the roller blinds down as well. Just so it doesn't get too hot in here. Put the windows up. That's done. There we go. So you can see a little bit of speeding there by accident. Oh well. But my stop accuracy is pretty decent. Got a glod. I'm going to really quickly finish shutting the train down and run the video. And we'll say we've walked through the... Actually, no. We'll say someone's walked through the train and basically said, yeah, you can shut the doors. So I'll do that. That. And I'm just for my own mental satisfaction, that can go auto. And we'll slide that door closed. Alright folks, that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.